You weren't made to copy. You weren't born to blend in. You were built to question, to imagine, to pull the invisible into existence. But somewhere along the way, the world tried to train it out of you, tried to make you forget that your mind is a creative force, not a container. You were told to memorize, not to think, to obey, not to challenge, to follow, not to forge. But deep inside you, beneath the noise, the rules, the fear, there's a voice that still knows, a voice that doesn't whisper but roars. And that voice is ready to break through. You can feel it every time you walk into a room and shrink your power to make others comfortable. You can feel it when you sit still, while your dreams scream at you from behind your ribs. You can feel it every time you settle, say yes to less, and betray the greatness coded into your very being. This isn't about inspiration. This is about ignition. This is the fire you were born with, the one you buried beneath logic and reason, beneath doubt and shame. But logic without vision is a cage, and reason without courage is paralysis. You are not put here to repeat what's been done. You're here to see what no one else sees, and dare to believe it's real before anyone agrees. Every innovation, every revolution, every impossible made possible, it began in the mind of someone who refused to accept what is as all there ever will be. So ask the questions they're afraid to ask. Imagine what they've forgotten how to imagine. Think past the edge of what they call realistic, because reality bends to the mind, disciplined enough to demand more of it. You are not your past. You are not your mistakes. You are not the limits you've been taught to wear like skin. You are potential, walking, energy, focusing, vision, forming. Belief is the gatekeeper. It is the code that either locks you in or launches you forward. You rise to the level of your belief, not your potential. You become what your mind permits. And if you keep telling yourself stories built on fear, failure, and doubt, those stories will become your reality. So change the narrative. Rewrite the equation. Not I hope, but I will. Not someday, but now. Not if, but when. Because every belief is a seed, and your daily thoughts are watering it. Feed it hesitation, and you grow delay. Feed it clarity, and you grow conviction. Clarity is not just knowing where you're going, it's knowing why it matters. Without a reason that burns, you'll drift. You'll start things but not finish them. You'll chase goals that look good but feel empty. But when you lock into something deeper, something real, you move different. Vision is not fantasy. Vision is discipline. It's the ability to see beyond what is and speak as if it already lives. It's not about delusion. It's about creation. Most people let the present dictate their imagination, but the ones who break through, they reverse it. They let their imagination dictate the future. They build it in their minds and then force the world to catch up. This is where purpose begins. Purpose is not a career. It's not a title. It's not something you find. It's something you decide. It's forged in fire, in resistance, in the tension between who you are and who you're becoming. It's when the pain of staying the same becomes heavier than the fear of change. Purpose doesn't shout, it whispers. It calls you in quiet moments when no one is watching, asking if you're still pretending or finally ready to commit. And when you commit, things begin to shift. Not because life suddenly becomes easy, but because you stop backing down when it's hard. You don't flinch, you don't fold, you don't retreat into comfort. You wake up with aim. You train your mind like it's sacred. Because it is. Discipline isn't punishment, it's liberation. The mind without discipline is noisy, distracted, chaotic. But the disciplined mind, it cuts through chaos like a blade through smoke. It knows what matters. It moves with purpose. It doesn't ask for motivation. It demands execution. Ritual is stronger than mood, and consistency is stronger than talent. This isn't about doing what you feel like. It's about doing what you decided to do long after the feeling is gone. Because power lives in repetition. Power lives in mastery. And mastery is nothing but choosing the same focus over and over, until it becomes who you are. You won't always feel like showing up. But if you only show up when it's easy, you'll always be chasing those who don't care how they feel, they just move. The discipline don't need the stars to align. They become the gravity everything else bends to. And when discipline meets action, the world starts to shift. Because nothing changes until something moves. Not your mindset, not your body, not your circumstances. Thoughts are seeds. But action is water. And if you want a different outcome, you better flood your world with different choices. Don't overthink your way out of transformation. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to begin. Momentum is not gifted, it's built. And while you're building, remember this. Gratitude is not weakness. It's armor. Gratitude doesn't mean you stop growing. It means you stop whining. It means you look at what you have and you multiply it with focus. Because no one builds greatness from bitterness, only from awareness. Gratitude is what sharpens the edge. It reminds you what's working. It pulls you out of panic. It keeps your head in the game while the world tries to pull you into noise. And if you want to keep growing, you've got to stay flexible. Rigidity breaks, but adaptability bends and survives. Your strength isn't in how much you can control. It's in how much you can pivot without losing direction. The mission doesn't change, but your methods must. The world won't ask for permission before it changes, so you better know how to shift when it does. Resilience is not about being untouched. It's about refusing to stay down. You will break, you will fall, you will question everything. But if you rise anyway, that's the moment you become dangerous. Resilience is built in the silence, in the days when no one claps and nothing goes right and the weight feels permanent, but still you get up. Still you move forward. Still you bet on yourself again. That's the kind of power the world can't measure, the kind it can't deny. You don't need everything to work. You need to keep working. You don't need perfect timing. You need to keep showing up. Resilience isn't pretty, it's brutal, but so is transformation. And learning, real learning, is not memorizing information. It's meeting failure and asking it questions. It's walking into discomfort and letting it remake you. Growth is not clean, it's messy, loud, exhausting, but you don't escape the fire, you become something new through it. There are no hacks, no shortcuts, no 5 steps to a new life. There is only awareness, discipline, focus, relentless effort, radical ownership. The universe is not waiting to hand you a dream. It's waiting to see who can hold the weight of one. So hold it. Hold the dream when it trembles. Hold the vision when it shakes. Hold the fire even when it burns. Because if you don't, who will? Stop asking if you're ready. Readiness is a luxury. Most never feel it. Clarity comes from action. Confidence comes from motion. So move like you've already decided. Act like your life depends on it, because it does. No more hesitation. No more delay. No more shrinking to fit into places you've already outgrown. This is your season to rise. This is your time to remember. You weren't made to be ordinary. You were made to wake the earth with your footsteps. So burn the doubt, bury the past, break the silence, and become the force you were always meant to be. You are not waiting on power. You are power. So rise